Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. We are officially just as close to 2030 as we are to 2020. And so, yeah, I hope you all had a really fun time yesterday, staying up till 12 o'clock to text on the group chat, Happy New Year, and use that stupid iMessage effect thing with the fireworks, since you guys have no life, of course. It was a joke, okay? It was a joke. Some of you guys have, no sarcasm, detector. Today we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible, and I'm going to be reviewing every single Mission Impossible movie, because why not? And I have nothing better to do. So, starting off with the first one. Now, I have a new layout. I did it on my Carry On review, but basically, I have the Letterboxd page open here, and you guys can already see my score, so it's not going to be like a big surprise at the end. Let me know if you like this new style, and it's very inspiration. It's very much inspiration from Gotham Chess. So go subscribe to him if you like chess and you like YouTube and stuff. So, this first Mission Impossible movie is rated PG-13 for intense violence and shooting and, all that stuff. Bam, and, people bleed and stuff. So, this review is going to contain spoilers because it literally came out, just under 30 years ago. So, if you haven't watched it, then go watch it and then come back to this review, or don't come back to this review because I'm sure it sucks. Okay, so this movie feels incredibly different from the rest of the Mission Impossible movies, except for maybe 2, although that movie was way more cheesy in a bad way, although I'm going to review that next, so we don't have to worry about that right now. But the main thing that sticks out about this movie is how different it feels from the rest, and I think that's something that works in its favor sometimes, and also something that doesn't work, because for the first 5 movies of this series, there was a different director for each movie, which made each movie feel different, like it was innovating, it was something new. And sometimes that style is a little too much, foreshadowing for something I'm going to review very soon. You know what it is. But yeah, it's just the style, the series has yet to find it, so it does feel a little off at points, they don't exactly know what they're doing, but it's still really fun as an espionage action thriller. And the main thing about this movie is that it knows how to deliver tension. The break-in scene, the scene this movie is famous for, when Tom Cruise is hanging down and he's right above the ground. It is it's riveting, and the shot of the sweat on his glasses dripping down, it's actually so intense, and it's perfect. That entire scene is perfect. And the train scene too, the set pieces, they're amazing. The window jump, the train scene, the helicopter in the train scene, it almost hitting his neck. It's amazing stunt work by Tom Cruise too. And little did he know that he would amplify those stunts up to 20,000 later in the series. It's actually insane how good those are. Anyways, it's really good stuff, the stunts in this movie, even though they get insanely better later in the series. And the mystery keeps you guessing a lot on first watch. On rewatch, I was 8 years old when I first watched this, so the mystery was really intriguing to me, and I had no idea who it could be, and I was blown away when it was revealed that Jim Phelps was the bad guy. The thing is, nowadays, when I rewatched it, it's kind of obvious. If you know that, it's really right in your face, and I think even first time watchers, if they watch it around my age even, they will probably catch on to the fact that he's the bad guy. But I still think the reveal is fine. And I know fans of the original series hated it because, apparently Jim Phelps was, a huge hero in the original series, and so, this was sort of, betrayal. But I'm not one of those people. I didn't grow up with the original series. I just think it's more obvious when you're older that he is the villain. And speaking of old, this movie is a little dated at points. And when I say dated, I don't mean the camera is the cinematography looks really dated and grainy. I mean, kind of, but if you think about it, some of the logic doesn't really make sense, and I definitely noticed it a few times. So I feel in the script, there are definitely some holes that need filling. Phrasing could have been better on that statement. And the Dutch angles in this movie too, I actually really like. A lot of people don't, but it's like the thing that Thor does when the camera is like this way. It's like the scene at the restaurant scene between Ethan and Kitcher. It's like that scene. I think the Dutch angles actually really work to make it like way more intense. And I think that entire scene is just really intense. And that's the same scene where you see the window jump, which is right here. Yeah. So the restaurant scene is awesome with the Dutch angles, and I think that also works to the overall movie's idea of putting you in the perspective of Ethan Hunt. Like, in the first 20 minutes of the movie, or less, like first 15 minutes of the movie, his entire IMF team dies. They either drown or, like, get, like, stabbed or, like, something like that. And it's really shocking to see on a first watch, and the way he's sort of, like, running around, and it's like, really intense. You are really put in the perspective of Ethan Hunt throughout that entire scene and throughout this entire movie, because you know exactly as much as him. And especially the scene where it's like he is thinking to himself like, oh my god, I figured it out, Jim Phelps is the bad guy, when he realizes that Jim is alive. And Jim, it's amazing. And this is the most, like, in general, mystery-ish Mission Impossible movie. Like, there is a Mission Impossible movie after this that has you, like, really guessing who the villain is. Like, it's a mystery, and I think it's why I loved it so much on first watch. Like on first watch, this was easily like my second or third favorite of the entire franchise, which is crazy to say out loud right now because it's one of my least favorites now, even though it's still good. It's just the franchise is so consistently amazing now. But yeah, on rewatch, I don't think it's one of the best in the franchise, but I still really like it, and I think it's a really, really good action movie. And one more thing I want to note here is how cool it is that Ethan Hunt never fires a bullet in the entire movie. There's a theme here with, like, first movies and amazing franchises where the characters, like, don't fire a gun or, like, do something that, like, does stuff, if you know what I mean. Like, Harry Potter 1, like, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone or whatever you want to say, Harry never, like, casts a spell in that entire movie. If you rewatch it, you'll notice it. And a lot of you probably already know it, but it's actually crazy. And speaking of that, I might actually review the Harry Potter series, like, when I'm done with this, because that franchise is it's amazing. This franchise is also amazing. Franchises are good. Movies are also good. Someone texted me. Movies are good. That's all I have to say, though. Peace out.